Good morning, YouTube. This is Mother of Man coming here today on June 21st, 2020. I do astrology as well. Don't know if any of my previous videos I've explained that. Pretty sure I have. But no, it's a new time, new world, and time for all of us get these messages out. So while most of you were sleeping, we completely shifted a whole set of signs coming out of Gemini into Cancer. And Mercury, which is how we're thinking, what's on our mind, has already been in Cancer. But the benefit of the moon and the sun catching up to where Mercury is that now the way you react and the way you are seen is aligning with what is on your mind. And in the last week or so, you might have not wanted to openly express or show to the public or just people in general that there have been a lot of deeply emotional things that you keep thinking about. So now, the sun and moon in Cancer, the eclipse coming, is really bringing out a safe place for you to be seen as what you're thinking, to feel and react about what you're thinking, which would be emotional things at this time. Mars is in Pisces. That is not anything that just happened right now or brand new. And Mars, your drive, your ambition, which I naturally, natally have Mars in Pisces, is kind of like a tug or a slowdown of you being able to get things done. It's almost like I feel it, I care about it, but you being able to practically take steps or passionately take steps for what you really care about right now is going to be sluggish. And this is general astrology for everyone. That's pretty hard. That could be, I've been talking to people and hearing a lot of experiences just of this is like that, that's like that, I have this is what I want, but for some reason just not being able to connect what you're trying to do and what you feel that you want to do. So this could be very emotional time right now for a lot of us, especially with everything coming into Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It is about emotions. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is in and out, just like the tides of the sea. So if you are seen or people are seen as very up and down right now, it's just the times. For this period of sun being in Cancer, no matter what your sign is, in general, the way everybody is seeing and perceiving everything is from an emotional standpoint. So you will be looking at people with more of an emotional lens during this time. And that's what's great about the summer. It's about having fun, which fun technically is somewhat emotional. Fun, the concept of fun, is a Venus, which Venus is partially emotions. That is a Venus theme. So, summer love is some of the best love. Have love in the summertime, even if it don't last, you kind of know it's real because it's not like it's cuffing season or you have no other options. Everything is going on and you're still engaging in what you like. And right now with Venus being in Gemini, is very much so that you're more comfortable. Everybody's a little bit more comfortable to communicate and be carefree about what they're actually interested in. So there's a lot of benefits to this dynamic, having water and then Venus kind of in a sign that isn't its favorite, but it being more communicative instead of it being in a water sign right now. With the other personal planets, it definitely, you can kind of trust or believe more so what people are saying to you about what they're interested in, how they feel, or what they want. And also, you can see people acting more on what they emotionally want within their drive and actions because Mars is in Pisces. So there's no necessarily good or bad, even though Mars in Pisces is debilitated, but there's a benefit to that because even though you're sluggish or people might be sluggish about what they're trying to get done, it's because their drive right now is based on what they really emotionally feel. So this is really, in a lot of ways, a beautiful time. We also have North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. So people's emotions are kind of lining up with, what their purpose in life is supposed to be. And as a collective people, we're seeing people over this period of this year, the more and more it goes on, starting to make changes or differences in their life that they maybe never did before, because that planet Venus and the North Node being in the same sign is activating maybe what your true desires are to line up with your life's purpose. And that's definitely great. Your old habits, with the South Node being in Sagittarius, that might have been reckless or self-sabotaging or, lackadaisy because you understood or you knew it all, so you knew how to play in and out of whatever your vices were because you had that wisdom about it, but you still were kind of operating maybe on a system where, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to do whatever I want to because I know how it goes. I know how to navigate that. That veil of detachment and just all over the place that you might have lived your life as so far is something that should be shedding for most of us. And I think we see it. Corona, which to me is not so much about the virus itself, but just Uranus and Taurus. Uranus, which likes to definitely disrupt abruptly and change what's our basis. Taurus being Earth. Taurus being like the true Gaia, this planet, this Earth, this world where we're all at. And having Uranus is going to be coming in and out of here. Well, not, it shouldn't be coming in and out really too much anymore. But, you know, a year or two ago, it was in and out. But now, our whole world for the next 7 years left, maybe, still 8, we're going to see our planet, our structures, our money, everything being changed, but it might seem friction, creation, you know, having a baby, creating anything, has to be friction first. But the outcome of it is so beautiful and so stable, Taurus, that by the time it's done, all of that friction and tension happened for something beautiful and more along the lines of what should be to happen. So there's no reason to stress or worry about the things that are going on, because everything that's going what you think is wrong or breaking anything in the world or systems or life or relationships. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, even though it's an earth sign. And there's the other 2 earth signs are ruled by Mercury and Saturn. Those are, you know, more of the more serious out of the earth signs, but this being Taurus, about what you like, how you get what you like, money, systems, all the things of pleasure being ultimately transformed, whether it takes a long time, a little time, however it has to do it. It's not as serious as it doesn't do it like Pluto does, but there's a correlation between a disruption and reset. Definitely don't stress about whatever is going on. This, you know, Venus, to me, Taurus being in Uranus is the most important out of all of these things that are going on. Let your senses guide you for the next 7 years. Let them guide you. This is a time to kind of go with the flow. We have Neptune in Pisces. That is really like, did I skip? Oh yeah, I skipped like 2 other planets that I wanted to get to first. But Neptune and Pisces, you know, that's kind of like, just know the direction of everything going is really for like, God is kind of like stepping in now. This is a God time. It'll be like that for a long time. Let me actually check the degrees. Yeah. So everything that's going on is pretty much God's will, or whatever you believe in, whatever your higher power is. If you don't have a higher power, it's yourself. That's pretty much where I'll leave that at. We still have Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. Jupiter in Capricorn, not what's up. It's not the way Jupiter, or what Jupiter would like to touch on, but However your life expands, no, it is concrete. Whatever happens with Pluto being there too, if it's very, very sudden, very, very harsh, something that can't be undone, is permanent. Capricorn doesn't very much waver or change. And whatever restriction Capricorn gives you, usually it's needed. So the benefit of those two things being there is that when you're talking about status or position, whatever is negatively transformed or expanded in that area, it could be a lot of benefit to that. This could be a time where if you are to be someone of status, it might come in the weirdest or from the craziest, most jacked up way, but it might be happening more now than maybe your whole lifetime. Maybe you might have been somebody who was poor or broke or whatever, but this year, the millionaires or whatever might fall because that's not the status they're meant to be in. And you might always supposed to be a millionaire, and you're coming into that because one thing about this Neptune in Pisces and Mars in Pisces at the same time, there's a purity to what you feel in your heart that you have a drive about. So it kind of takes away people who put in energy into things that they really don't care about. This is a very turning of, like we see, if things were unfair or deceptive or not right, if you're the type of person that believes in the balance of things being more appropriate, this is doing that right now. We also have Lilith and Chiron in Aries. Interesting combination. Aries is passionate, very, very passionate. Like a child before they lose their innocence, and how they have to bump their head, or you have to teach them that sometimes dreams aren't real. This is where Lilith being kind of like, in a lot of ways, a very masculine qualities of being feminine, the woman who puts her foot down, and Chiron being this wounded warrior, this wounded man. So you have to understand they're both the balance and opposite of each other. You have a masculine woman and, in a way, a feminine man because of his experiences and her experiences, being this sign of innocence and passion and drive, this Mars sign, when people reach for their dreams or their goals, usually their drive, their ambition gets them there. That is a very Mars thing. That's where Aries is at right now. And you have the two, in a lot of ways, balances of each other, but inverted of what your concept of masculine and feminine is in these signs. So it's like there are masculine themes coming to your deepest wounds, but are getting you in touch with your feminine side through these masculine experiences of what triggers you subconsciously from childhood so deeply. Lilith is like, especially in Aries, it's like how you might see a drag queen be like, I'm fabulous, honey. And, they'll go to levels and get things done, but still a man, right? And Lilith, for me, my perception of Lilith is that heart part of you that instead of me killing it with kindness, I'll kill it with keeping it real. It's almost like Lilith being in Aries will